Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review. This is episode number 57. Reviewing the 57th episode of the Boruto Naruto Next Generation's The Reason I Can't Lose. The episode starts off with Sasuke and Boruto training with shurikens. And them arguing like, hey, this is something that Sadara knows. It's something that's specialty to your clan. And then Sasuke basically calls a burn like, and then all of a sudden he just does the shadow clone jutsu. He does a lot more than Boruto can. It looks like he did like almost like a dozen shadow clones, and Boruto can only summon up 4. He says like, isn't this? He says, isn't this your specialty? Yeah, he says, yeah, but it's also my dad's specialty as well. Which, here's the thing: Sasuke, Boruto, and Naruto are not the only people in the franchise who can do shadow clones. The only people who can do shadow clones off the top of my head, aside from these three people, have been Kakashi. Yeah, he's shown for doing shadow clones. Let's see. Minto, Baruto's grandfather, he's been shown in the past to do shadow clones. Heck, even the second Hokage, yeah, the guy who invented the jutsu, he can do shadow clones as well. Oh yeah, even the first Hokage can do shadow clones, which is actually he can do wood clones, but not shadow clones. So it's just the first Hokage, the fourth Hokage, Naruto, Sasuke, and Boruto. Roughly 5 characters can do the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Yep. Of course, got the opening credits. Mostly put it's the same a bit, but they do show some stuff that they haven't. Okay. Yeah. Then they show off stuff like Baruto teasing the end of it, Baruto fighting the main villain of the thing. Speaking of main villains, yeah, the new villain who was introduced in this particular arc. Yeah, he how should I put this? He does make an appearance this episode, and he appears in a flashback, something that happened just before. Like it does explain this episode explain why Gar took so long to get to the village. He was attacked by Misuke's one of his henchmen, and apparently he has used a fishing rod jutsu, takes like a big chunk out of his chest, and yeah, and according to Gara, he says this is nothing. It's like talking about willpower, stuff like that. Yeah, it was interesting. Of course, the Mazakage game appearance episode. Those appearance was brief, but it just basically he just Sasuke just telling Gara telling Sasuke and the Mazakage what would happen to him. I'm kind of like, why couldn't he just tell? Why can't he just tell all the Kages? They're all there. You could just have not only Sasuke and the Mazakage. You can tell you can have Naruto in the scene, the Razakage. You can have all the other Kages along with Gara have this little meet and greet. But okay, here's kind of the thing. Um, Gara telling Sasuke about this was particularly very weird because, well, here's kind of the reason why. Because Gara and Sasuke, aside from the brief battle they had back during the original Naruto series, these two barely interact. Heck, even the manga, these two barely interact. Heck, Sasuke never interacted with Mazakage prior to this episode. This is the first time they ever interacted. So this scene is very bizarre. I think possibly that this scene was maybe for Naruto instead, but the anime chose Sasuke. They chose Sasuke in the place of Naruto and switch on the dialogue. That's just my personal theory of the reason why they switch this around, but I kind of felt as though this could have been for Naruto instead because he's actually interacted with both these two a lot over the course of the franchise, and yet Sasuke barely has interaction with Gaara and the current Mazakage Chochuru. Never interacted before prior to this. And when they show the second round in this episode, it plays out pretty much mostly how it plays out in the movie. Like in the case of Team 10, well, Team Mogi. Yeah, what happens with them? Same exact in the movie, no change there. In the case of, well, Boruto, the Team Konohamaru, they do have some stuff here and there. It's a little bit longer than it is in the movie. In the movie, the second round is roughly just 5 minutes. Here, it takes up an entire episode. They show like Naruto or Boruto showing off that he can do the water jutsu with the ninja tool, using the lightning style against, well, the three trio from the Hidden Mist. And, well, they do kind of show what happened with Metal Lee's team. Yeah, Dekai, he got his glasses. He got one of his lenses on his glasses broke, and his temple snapped off. Iwambi put up a pretty good fight against Gaara's son. I would say of the three, Metal Lee, despite the fact he lost, I gotta say I was very impressed with how he fought against Gaara's son. It's somewhat similar to how Gaara fought Rock Lee in the original series. So it's a similar fight, and I think the reason why they threw this particular fight here, because Gaara and Rock Lee fought in the original series, so why not have Gaara's adopted son and the son of Rock Lee, Metal Lee, fight in this particular scene? Though it's different location. In the case of the original series, Gaara and Metal Lee Rock Lee fought in a training hall. In this series, they fought on top of a building. But there's one thing I was really hoping they would explain of where the heck this ruined city is, and they don't tell. They don't explain in this episode. They just, oh yeah, this is where the second round of the shooting exams are, and yeah, and 1010 briefly, he shows up a couple times in the episode. I like the fact 1010 is using this arc. This episode, you get to see a little bit more than you do in the film. In the film, she shows up a couple times, doesn't do much of anything. They do make a small change to a scene that she's in, and that scene where she's in the monitoring room. In the film, Sai is in the scene. Not Sai, Shino. Shino's in the scene, but yeah, in this episode, Shino is nowhere to be seen. Yeah, that was actually a bit of a surprise. They actually removed him from this particular scene, even though in the film, he's there. In the case of Naruto, mostly put, all his scenes are exactly the same as they are in the film. Yeah, when he pops this episode, it's the same as it is in the Boruto film. Like, no change. I don't think they even changed any dialogue for him, which is a bit of a surprise. Yeah, heck, even his reaction to basically, well, Shikamaru comes to his office, and of course he's typing, and of course afterwards he's just jumping around. Yeah, mostly put. Yeah, every single scene, like I said, every single scene he's in, heck, even the scene he briefly interacts with Boruto, same as is in the film. No change. Which is a bit of a surprise. Boruto, mostly for this episode, overall, there's some original footage here and there, like seeing, well, the rest of the seeing the other two teams who lost. Yeah, it's surprising. No, it's not. I think for some people, they weren't all that surprised to see Susumuru's team not pass. I think the reason why this is because in the film, this team is not in the third round. I think in the case of Team Mogi and Team Konohamaru, yeah, these two were guaranteed because that's the way they were in the film. So even though these two teams, even though that Team Udon and Team Hanabi were in this basically in this tuning exam as well, seeing these two get eliminated, I guess it's okay, it's fine. I wouldn't be surprised if these two would qualify for the next tuning exam, whenever that will be. Excuse me, yeah. Though, I think I kind of get, there's another reason why I think why, in the case of Team Hanabi, why they weren't, let's say, past next round. My theory is because they haven't got much development. I mean, like, even Susumu herself, I mean, this episode, she only gets like 4 or 5 lines. Yeah, she doesn't get much to do. It's like, she takes on another person from, she takes on, well, the three Geni from the Hidden Cloud Village, and one of her friends gets, I think it's the Crybaby one. She gets trapped in one of the bubblegum things, and yeah, and their team gets defeated very easily, which is something. But I at least got impressed that, well, one of her friends actually popped one of the balloons. I kind of wish that her team got a little bit more development in this episode. Yes, I think also another theory I have is the reason why they advance, not just because they're not in the third round, in the film, but because this team has not gotten much development over the course of the series. I mean, this is only what the fourth episode this team has actually physically appeared in, fourth, fifth episode, and they haven't, with the exception of one episode where they captured escaped zoo animals, they haven't really done very much over the course of the series. Heck, Team Mogi has done a lot more than this team has, and they got a lot more development. And in the case of Team Udon, well, they at least got a chance to do something. At least they got a chance to shine, and their battle was actually a little bit longer than this. In the case of Team Hanabi, their appearance in this episode when they fight, that was roughly just, I'd say about 2 or 3 minutes. It was really quick. Yeah, they got eliminated pretty quickly. In the case of Team Udon, yeah, this lasted for a good 5, maybe 7 minutes. Lasted for a good long while. And I would say a good chunk of the episode was Team Konohamaru's battle. Team Mogi's battle, that was pretty quick, and it's exactly the same as in the film. It's just pretty snap. Like, Shikadai does Shaparash's Jutsu. Inogen does the Beast Scroll, takes on one guy. Cho crushes the guy with her when she's in her super expansion jutsu. Takes the flag, bam, it's really quick. It's not that surprising about that. And I like the fact to see, I love the reaction. I thought it was great they included the little scene of Boruto worrying about Dekai because he's one of his closest friends because he got hurt. And I'm glad the fact that they threw that in because that would be kind of dumb for this particular scene not to be here. Because Dekai is a great character, and I like the fact that he's actually one of Boruto's closest friends. I would say he's one of his best friends, and I like the fact Boruto worried about him, which is great. Iwami did get injured as well. I'd say in the case of Middle Lee, he didn't get injured that much. I would say of the 3 from Team Udon, Dekai got the most heavily injured, especially since his glasses broke. Metal Lee, during the fight with the Gaara's son, I think his name is Sadi. I think his name is. Him as Black Sand. Yeah, because whenever Metal Lee was punching it, his knuckles turned red. Like, this was a brutal brawl, and I gotta say, it was impressive. Very impressive. But not as impressive as the Gaara and Rock Lee fight from the original series. But this is just, it's not exactly topping that, but it's just as good. And gotta praise the animators for that. And, well, 1010 kind of suspects something with the whole thing with Boruto and his ninja tool. But she just writes up hey, he probably does really good. And the guy who's in this particular scene, he's sweating because he thinks that 1010 suspects about the ninja tool. Here's the thing: the only people aside from people at the I don't remember the hidden lead scientist name. Aside from there's people in this lab, the only person who knows about it outside of them that Boruto has this thing is Sasuke. He's the only one who knows. But I think he's keeping quiet about it because he really believes that Boruto has potential in him. Okay? And starting next week, round 3. Now in the film, this particular round in the film for the tuning exams was roughly about, it takes a good 20 minutes to film. Hopefully this extends more than just one episode. Yeah, it's something though that in this particular round of tuning exams, the first round takes one episode, which I don't think a lot of people are very surprised with, because the last time the tuning exam in the anime, which was in the 19th of Naruto Shippuden, that lasted for one episode. And pretty much second round pretty much almost took up the entire season. In the case of this one, I think even for me, the second round taking up one episode, this was a bit of a surprise, but I think because what the story wanted to tell, I think it was fine that they told this in one episode. And I definitely think that the third round will take up more than just one episode. Yes, I definitely feel as though this particular thing, because it was really snap quick when it came to this particular scene in the film. Yeah, it lasted a little while, but here's my theory of how long the third round will last before the villains might show up. I think this might last for 4 or 5 episodes before the villains show up. That's just my personal theory. But yeah, one thing I hope to see in this next episode is Team Hanabi and Team Udon in the stands with Hinata or at least one of the other characters. That'd be nice to see them make a brief appearance, at least actually showing their support for Team Konohamaru and Team Mogi. Yep. And hopefully Hanabi actually shows up in the episode because she hasn't done very much in this whole series. Yep. So that's it for this particular episode. Stay tuned next week for episode 58. Yeah, it's something that I'm switching this from because originally last year I was doing this on Wednesdays, and now I'm doing it Thursdays because they switched the daytime. They changed the day for this particular series. My guess is because they probably don't want people to stay up late for people here. I'm sure in Japan it's probably airing perfectly fine at like in the evening, like earlyish evening. Here it's like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning when this thing finally airs. Yeah. But I think now it is Thursday afternoons, which is fine for a lot of people, basically, so I have to get up early to watch these things. Alright, so tomorrow, next episode of the Comic Corner, and possibly the first part of Vampire Knight. I'm hoping to get it done, start it like a little bit through tonight, and a little bit and pretty much finish the rest of it tomorrow. Okay, but until I see you on my next video, bye.